So Lewis alluded earlier to the second tragedy here. We have the primary tragedy at the Navy Yard, which is the fact that 12 people died, 15 people were injured. It was a terror, just a terrifying and horrible scene, and everything that comes with it, and the gun discussions. That's part one. Part two is the mental health for veterans issue, which Lewis alluded to. U.S. law enforcement officials are telling the AP that the Navy contractor identified as the gunman, 34-year-old Aaron Alexis, had been suffering a host of serious mental issues, including paranoia, including a sleep disorder. He had been hearing voices in his head, and he had been treated since August by the Veterans Administration for his mental problems, according to the official who spoke on the condition of anonymity because the criminal investigation was continuing. The Navy, as Lewis mentioned, had not declared him mentally unfit, which would have rescinded that security clearance that he had from his earlier time in the Navy Reserves. This story, we can look at the kind of specifics and the failures, but I really hope that this incident will bring to light something that I've been talking about and Lewis has been talking about for years, which is for all of the so-called patriotic support the troops stuff, which involves putting stickers and ribbons on your car. What about supporting the troops by not sending them into pointless wars in the first place? But what about providing adequate medical care when they come back and are suffering from PTSD and all sorts of other conditions? And broadly speaking, let's figure out why we can't support the troops after they serve. And I know, Lewis, that this specific example doesn't check off all the boxes that I'm describing. In this particular case, it appears to have been PTSD brought on by Alexis's involvement rescuing victims at Ground Zero and 9/11, and there are other factors. But this is the opportunity to talk about healthcare for veterans, which is just such a huge problem. We're getting votes to not fund veterans' healthcare properly. It's a disaster. And if nothing else, I hope there's a serious discussion about it after this incident.
I hope so. But still, even if he had the best care possible, there's no saying that he might not have just, instead of going to where he had his security clearance and shooting the place up, that he would have gone to a mall and done it. But apart from that, you're right. This is a huge problem. And just ask any Republican, David. It's really just much cheaper to buy a little bumper sticker.